Anime has presented us viewers some pretty amazing superhuman powers. We have seen fights occur faster than the human eye can see. A character's physical strength go far beyond that even the greatest athletes of our world could dream of achieving, and even forming energy blasts that would obliterate their opponent. Now, I've pretty much summed up the Dragon Ball franchise here, but you get the point. Some of the most devastating and, in my opinion, most beautiful powers actually come from that of an anime character's eyes. Now, these things come in all shapes and sizes, and this is what you hear. I'm going to list my top 10 anime eye powers. Okay, so we're kicking this one off with a personal favourite of mine. This is the all-seeing eyes of the gods. The wielder is Leonardo Watch from the series Blood Blockade Battlefront. Leonardo gained this ability at quite the cost, his own sister's eyesight. Now, with these new eyes of his visual senses have been vastly improved, allowing him to see fast objects that would be impossible for normal human eyes to see. With greater clarity, he can see very minute details. These eyes even come with their own healing function if they were ever to be damaged. The most important aspect of this power is that Leonardo can see the truth of the world. This basically means that he can see through any illusions and even a person's own individual aura. There are of course limits to the amount of time he can use his eyes, as they will overheat if overused. Leonardo does have a couple of handy other tricks utilizing his eyes, where he can implant nauseating hallucinations, project what he sees, and even alter the field of vision of any one of his opponents. This next one is from an absolutely stunningly beautiful anime known as Charlotte. The eye power in question is the Plunder ability, and it is owned by Yu Otasaka. The Plunder ability, which is also known as looting or possession, allows you to take over a person's body for 5 whole seconds. This sounds like a pretty handy but at the same time almost useless ability compared to a lot of the other powers or abilities that exist within the world of Charlotte. However, there is a lot more to Plunder, and it is not all that it seems. Once activated, not only can the person's body be controlled for the 5 seconds, but that person's own ability can be taken from them and used by its new user, which obviously in Charlotte's case is main protagonist Yu Otasaka. Now, the downside to this ability is that Yu's own body becomes unconscious while the ability is in use, but the payoff is a brand new ability, and that's pretty sweet. Or is it? Another downside to this ability is that the more powers that Yu takes in, the more of his own memories that he loses, and it's unknown whether he'll be able to regain these memories or not. This next eye power is a bit of a beast. It's the Alpha Stigma from the anime series The Legend of Legendary Heroes. The wielder is Reiner Lute. 4 curses were passed on to humanity by the dark gods of ancient times. The one in question here is the Alpha Stigma, also known as God's Eyes. Reiner Lute can use these eyes to analyze and copy any magic that he himself has seen, even if it's only partially seen. Reiner can then cast the spell as a whole. The downside to this ability is, one, the Alpha Stigma bearers tend not to make it past their childhood, and secondly is that when an Alpha Stigma bearer is put under extreme emotional distress, they activate what is known as the madness of the Alpha Stigma. In this state, they go into an extremely violent and destructive rampage that is said to become so intense that it will eventually drive the user to madness until they are either killed or commit suicide. There is another way to putting an end to this rampage as well, and that is by gouging out the owner's eyes. Not nice. Not nice. Okay, next up we're talking Naruto. I know some of you guys might be like, yeah, but come on, man. Naruto has gifted us some pretty amazing powers, like eye powers, or ninjutsu, if you will. We had the Byakugan of the Hyuga clan, or the incredible power of the Renegon. But obviously, when you think of eye powers, or, ninjutsu and Naruto, there's only one that comes to mind, and obviously, the Sharingan. This power of the Uchiha clan allows them to detect chakra, copy any jutsu, and of course, anticipate their opponent's next move. This, of course, is just the base of the Sharingan's power, as it can evolve to only which a handful of Uchiha have achieved. If the user experiences the trauma of loss, the Sharingan will evolve into the Mangekyo Sharingan, which grants the user their own unique jutsu as well as the normal abilities the Sharingan already possesses. Possessing the Mangekyo Sharingan comes with its drawbacks, as the use of these eyes will cause blindness over time. However, this can be overturned by transplanting another pair of Mangekyo Sharingan from a relative, such as a sibling. Right, winding back the clock with this one. We're going back in time, you know, like childhood back in time. We're talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, so obviously there's one power that comes to mind. It's the Millennium Eye, held by creator of the card game himself, Maximilian Pegasus. Yugi boy. That was bad, sorry. Kaiba! I can't get that out. Kaiba! Anyway. The Millennium items are 7 mysterious objects that hail from ancient Egyptian times, each with their own individual unique powers. The Millennium Eye allows Pegasus to peer into the mind of his opponent and know what they are thinking at all times. He uses this during games of Duel Monsters, so that he can see his opponent's cards and strategies, which gives him an obvious, clear advantage. Of course, like the other Millennium items, this eye can initiate the infamous Shadow Games. It can protect him from harm from other magical powers and can again initiate what is known as the Mind Card Penalty Game, in which he can trap and seal a person's soul within a card. Now, of course, with like many of these, not one for the squeamish, but in order for Pegasus to have received this Millennium Eye, Pegasus had to gouge his eye out first. Ugh, squeamish. I'm squeamish at stuff like that. Alright, so let's talk sports. Let's talk basketball, and specifically Kuroko's basketball. More specifically, Seijiro Akashi's Emperor Eye. This eye power is very similar to one that we will talk about very soon. The Emperor Eye gives its user the ability to predict an opponent's actions by observing body movements and actions. Of course, not used to the extremes of combat nor military strategy, this is still a very handy power to have in the world of basketball, in which this series is set. Akashi collects information on his opponent's strengths and weaknesses to outmatch their movements and defeat them with ease. His powers are awesome. They pick up the absolute smallest of details, such as an opponent's breathing, heartbeat, sweat, muscle contractions, and more. I think any of us weebs would actually be good at sport if we had such power, right? All I'm going to say on this one is Alan Walker, D. Greyman, Cursed Eye. Alan Walker's eye power is more of a curse than an actual power, in which he can see the souls trapped within the Akuma. His cursed left eye has undergone some developments over the course of the series. The first is a black-red ringed eye that automatically activates whenever he is near Akuma, allowing him to see the trapped souls I had previously mentioned. The second level underwent some pretty dramatic changes, such as its appearance, which now added a monocle that looked like a cogwheel. With this new eye, Alan could pinpoint an Akuma's exact position from up to 350 meters away, regardless of any obstacles that would have been in the way. The crazy thing about these new abilities that he obtained with the curse's growth was that anyone that was close to Alan could now also see the trap souls of the Akuma. Top 3, we're getting to the big one now. So, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, King Bradley, the Ultimate Eye. This one's a gem. This one is a gem. Of course, as we know, King Bradley is one of the 7 homunculi and has what is known as the Ultimate Eye. 1. This eye allows Bradley to predict his enemy's movements, dodge any incoming attacks, and then hit them back with what could be a most fatal of strikes. This eye allows him to always set up the perfect attack or defense strategy to defeat an opponent. His own ability to anticipate and take action makes him an opponent you would really like to avoid at all costs. Now, with just one glance, Bradley can see a person's strengths and weaknesses, to which he can then formulate and execute the perfect battle plan against them. So in terms of military strategy, King Bradley is top of the list. Now, the thing with these powers is that they're not always gifted to you. Sometimes there is a cost for the power. As we spoke about earlier with Pegasus, he had to gouge out his actual eye. That was the cost for that one. This next eye power also has a cost. So we're diving into the realms of Death Note, and we're going to look at the Shinigami Eyes. The Shinigami Eyes, or Eyes of the Shinigami as they are also known, gift its user the ability to see both the names and lifespans of any human that they encounter. Now, in the world of Death Note, having these eyes as well as, the use of a Death Note pretty much makes you invincible. Kinda. So in terms of the payoff of this, the question is, why didn't Light make the eye deal with Ryuk? It would have made, killing off L a lot easier. The answer being its greatest downfall. In exchange for the power of these eyes, the human must give up half of their remaining lifespan to the Shinigami, in which they are making this deal. Which, to everyone who has watched this series, knows that Light giving up half his lifespan was a total no-go. This guy wants to be the god of the new world. Would you make the Shinigami deal? Half your lifespan is possibly quite a long time. Who knows? Number 1. Here we go. We've made it. For those of you that know me, you'll know what this number 1 is. And for me, it's just awesome. As soon as the topic of anime eye powers is brought up, I think of one power and one power alone, and that is Geass from Code Geass. Most specifically, Lelouch v Britannia, main protagonist. So Geass is a power that varies in strength between its various users, in terms of both strength and ability. It can range from anything such as mind control, precognition, or actually forcing someone to love its user. So how does this all tie into this video? Obvious, but let's state it. Main protagonist Lelouch wields the power of absolute obedience over a person's mind once he has made eye contact, thus giving him complete control over his desired target's actions via any command of his choosing. Activation of his Geass is visually represented by a sigil manifesting in his left eye. This is certainly a powerful ability, especially for someone of Lelouch's character, but it does come with some drawbacks, such as he cannot use his power to command the same person twice. And there we have it. There was my top 10 anime eye powers. What did you think of the list? Did I miss out your favorite? Or did I miss out any obvious ones? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Come hang out with me on Twitch on the weekdays and subscribe for more anime content. Till next time, my fellow weebs, peace!